Why are you calling it bonkers? Oh, that's right, because you want to be able to say whatever you want. Typical victim label allows them seemingly to pull at the heartstrings of people, and it's a smokescreen.
So much rhetoric at this point, and so many lies have been thrown out there, debunked, and yet
they called her the modern Cinderella. But here's the thing, that glass slipper didn't just fit Meghan Markle. She forced it on, cracked it, and sold the glittering pieces straight to Netflix. And now, her own sister is stepping out of the shadows to shatter what's left of that fairy tale. Samantha Markle, sharp, calm, and devastating, dropped just 6 words that set the entire internet on fire. People need to look at the timeline. That's it. No rage, no long speech. Just 6 words that hit harder than any royal headline. And once people actually did look, that flawless royal pregnancy story started crumbling like a sandcastle in a storm. Suddenly, everyone was whispering about missing hospital photos, baby bumps that folded on camera, and a mysterious woman named DL who swore she was the real carrier of those royal babies. She even offered to take a DNA test live on television. This wasn't gossip anymore. It was a family war, a truth grenade lobbed into Buckingham's polished corridors. Because if Samantha's right, then every photo, every loving announcement, every carefully curated image might have been the biggest illusion the royal family ever staged. So buckle up, this is the side of Meghan Markle the palace never wanted the world to see. Now, before we dive in, just know things are about to spiral fast. Clinic records, secret payments, encrypted messages, and one DNA challenge that could destroy everything.
On the grounds that everybody knows it was salient in the media. The Oprah interview was chock full of lies.
Every royal story needs a villain, right? But Samantha Markle, she's not playing the part Meghan wrote for her. For years, she watched her half-sister rise from cable TV actress to Duchess of global fame, smiling for cameras, rewriting her past like a script. Through it all, Samantha stayed quiet until the silence started to taste like betrayal. Behind all the charity speeches and compassion talks, Meghan wasn't just distancing herself, she was erasing her own blood. The woman who preached kindness couldn't pick up a phone for her wheelchair-bound father, couldn't return a message to the sister who once shielded her from bullies. All those quotes about empathy and love, they rang hollow when her own family was ghosted into oblivion. It wasn't that they'd done anything terrible, they were just too real. Too ordinary for the glossy image Meghan needed to sell the world. When Meghan looked into Oprah's eyes and said, "I lost my father," Samantha snapped, because no, they didn't lose him. Meghan shut him out, cold and deliberate. That wasn't tragedy, it was choice, and that was the moment Samantha changed. She'd watched this new version of her sister take shape, a woman who could sit in front of millions and rewrite family history like a Netflix monologue. If Meghan could tell her version, Samantha decided the world deserved the truth. But she didn't go on some revenge spree. No book deal, no tabloids, no screaming interviews. Just one chilling line. People need to look at the timeline. 6 words that landed like a thunderclap. Because everyone who'd been paying attention already felt it, the dates never added up. The secrecy was bizarre. The royal photo ops? Too perfect. And then the digging began. The cracks in Meghan's perfect royal image started spreading like a windshield hit by a stone, fast, visible, impossible to ignore. People started digging, and oh, what they found. In October 2018, just 5 months after the wedding, Kensington Palace dropped the pregnancy announcement, except no hospital photos. None. The royals always had that iconic moment, parents leaving with the newborn, smiling, waving, but not Meghan. And the doctor, silence.
You're bitter. Are you jealous?
I was always very proud of her. I never felt bitter or jealous because early in my life I had...
Usually royal births have a whole medical team listed. With Archie's, nothing. No doctor's name, no hospital confirmation. Just an announcement and darkness. And not a single soul saw Meghan enter labor. No paparazzi, no witnesses, no hospital staff whispers. One of the most photographed women in the world managed to give birth in total invisibility. Then came the video, Meghan in that purple dress, bending down, and her baby bump folds. Not jiggles, folds. The internet lost its mind. Frame-by-frame analysis, endless slow-mo loops, theories flying. Some said it was an optical illusion, others whispered prosthetic. Then came baby number 2 in 2021, and guess what? Same story. Announcement, blackout, delayed birth certificate. Copy-paste secrecy. And that's when old reports started reappearing. Rumors about a surgery years ago, one that could make natural pregnancy almost impossible. Coincidence once, maybe, twice? No one was buying that. When the same strange details repeat, missing hospital files, folding bumps, mysterious doctors, and delays, people stop calling them coincidences, they start calling them clues. Every royal photo began looking staged, rehearsed, bumps changing size, timing too convenient. The palace kept smiling through it all, pretending everything was fine. Forums went wild. YouTube channels became detective headquarters. People tracked Meghan's pregnancy timeline like a crime board. And Samantha watched from the sidelines, calm, knowing exactly what she'd set in motion. Her 6-word warning wasn't bitterness. It was a breadcrumb trail leading straight to the palace's secret. Then out of nowhere, a new voice stepped in. She called herself DL, no last name, no camera, just a story that froze the internet. She said she was the one who carried Meghan's children. Let that sink in. She painted a chilling picture, marble clinics hidden in Beverly Hills, coded appointments, shell accounts, security tighter than a vault. She said Meghan and Harry always came separately, never together, disguised in hats, glasses, plain clothes, no signatures, no real names. Every visit was scheduled like a heist. Appointments matched perfectly with public absences, a charity event canceled here, a mysterious personal day there. DL said she was treated like a ghost, forbidden from talking, no photos, no contact, completely scrubbed from records. They treated me like I didn't exist, she said. Just a tool. Her story wasn't about money, it was about erasure. She watched Meghan pose with a fake bump while she stayed hidden, alone. And when DL finally decided to speak, she didn't sell it to a tabloid. She came with proof. Real proof. First clinic intake forms. Stamped and dated from 2018 and 2020, the exact years of Meghan's pregnancies. Real forms, with procedure codes and timestamps too precise to fake. Then came ultrasound images, labeled under aliases, payment logs bouncing through 3 shell companies, every transaction lining up perfectly with royal announcements. Even the emails encrypted, initials only, MM and HW. The timestamps matched pregnancy dates to the hour. And then the NDAs, brutal, terrifying contracts threatening financial ruin if she ever spoke. DL said the payments stopped mid-pregnancy. No closure, no explanation. Just silence. That's when she realized the final payment was her silence. So she did what no one expected. Calmly, she looked into the camera and said, "I'll take a DNA test on live TV." 16 words. And the internet exploded. Within hours, number DNA test challenge was trending worldwide. Talk shows offered her 6-figure deals. YouTube melted down everyone, picking apart her every sentence like detectives. Some called her brave, others called her crazy, but nobody could ignore her. And Meghan and Harry, not a single word. No denial, no lawyer, nothing. Their silence was deafening. Because when someone claims they carried your children, normal people react. But the Sussexes, nothing. Weeks went by, no response. Then Samantha re-entered the storm. She didn't gloat, didn't shout, didn't confirm DL's story. She just posted one quiet quote from their father. "What's real doesn't fear questions." And just like that, the fire doubled in size. Behind palace doors, chaos erupted. PR teams panicked. Meetings at midnight. Advisors whispering about crisis control. But this wasn't a scandal about affairs or press feuds. This was about existence. If the DNA test ever happened, it wouldn't just ruin Meghan's image, it would rewrite royal history. The palace stayed silent, that old Windsor trick of pretending scandals don't exist. But this time, silence didn't calm the storm, it fed it. Online sleuths picked through every old photo, every hospital record, every grainy image. Supporters screamed racism, claiming Meghan was being torn down again. Critics said it was the cover-up of the century. And right in the middle, calm as a candle in the wind, sat Samantha Markle. She didn't shout anymore. She didn't need to. She began doing interviews, not messy ones, but precise, poised ones. Every word measured. She spoke about truth over image, family over fame, accountability over fairy tales. She didn't accuse, she reminded. She didn't cry, she cut. There's more to this story than people know. She'd say, eyes steady, time reveals everything. Each interview was another crack in the Duchess's golden image. The compassionate humanitarian who couldn't pick up a phone for her own father, it didn't fit anymore. The media went feral. Paparazzi hunted down doctors. Journalists filed Freedom of Information requests. Royal experts debated ethics versus exposure. Everyone had a theory, nobody had an answer. And Meghan, still silent. Still smiling for cameras while the world dissected her every photo. Then came Samantha's final moment. No flashing lights, no PR setup. Just her in a dim studio facing one last question, do you regret it? All of this? She paused, breathed, and said 10 words that silenced the room. Regret only if what's real stops being real. You could feel the years behind those words, the exhaustion, the truth, the heartbreak. She wasn't trying to convince anyone anymore. She was done explaining. Silence from guilty people looks the same as silence from innocent ones, she added. The difference is what you find when you look closer. She wasn't pleading, she was daring. Check the dates, find the files, connect the dots. Then, when asked what she wanted people to remember, she said, history remembers who spoke first, not who had the bigger platform. And that's when the internet exploded again. Whether people loved her or hated her, nobody could deny it anymore. Samantha had cracked the royal illusion open. The fairy tale Duchess story was bleeding through the cracks, and no PR team could patch it. The Meghan Markle saga, the modern Cinderella narrative, suddenly had a shadow. Maybe Samantha's right. Maybe she's wrong. But one thing's undeniable, she's changed the story forever. Because once you start looking at those missing records, those timelines, those silent responses, you can't unsee them. And Samantha's words keep echoing. History will remember who spoke up first. Not a threat, not a plea, just truth, quiet, unshakable truth. Because sometimes what's real doesn't disappear. It just waits for people brave enough to see it. She wasn't chasing fame or trying to hurt anyone. That much was clear in the way she spoke, slow, deliberate, and tired. Samantha's eyes carried the kind of pain that only comes from watching someone you love turn into a stranger. All I ever wanted was the truth, she said softly. Not revenge, not pity, just truth. The interviewer leaned forward, but she didn't flinch. She talked about holidays that went silent, birthdays unacknowledged, and a father left staring at his phone, waiting for a call that never came. It wasn't jealousy, it was grief disguised as strength. When the camera light dimmed, Samantha didn't look like a woman who'd won anything. She looked like someone who'd finally put down a burden she'd carried too long. Outside, the media kept spinning, the palace stayed silent, and the internet kept choosing sides. But beneath all that noise, one thing lingered: her voice. Honest, cracked, and human. Because in a world of scripted fairy tales and staged smiles, Samantha's truth sounded dangerously real. And maybe that's why it scared them so much. The story wasn't over, it was only paused, waiting for the moment when silence could no longer protect the lies.